Minnesota press conference this evening with head coach Don Lucia, student athletes Justin Klus and Adam Wilcox. We'll start with opening statement. Head coach Don Lucia.
I'm just really proud of this team. When we got beat last week ago Friday, they just came to the rink ready to work on Saturday and prepare for the games this weekend. I think they all knew what was at stake, and I thought that we had a terrific week of practice. Certainly our captains led the charge with that, but the focus this weekend was tremendous. On the bench, I don't know if I've seen us as focused and communicating and dialed in as what we were for the game tonight. And again, that's a credit to our captains and right on down. So it was obviously very, very important for us to play well this weekend, and really happy for our guys. I mean, going to Frozen Four, it never gets old. It's a thrill. I've been to a handful now, but for the guys that haven't been there before, to go through the heartache we did last year and losing in overtime, to be able to come back this year and get back to Philadelphia, it's a real credit to our group of guys. And I thought all the lines did a great job tonight. We don't really match up line for line that often, but for the most part we did today. And I thought every line really did a good job. I mean, they were basically even changing on their own tonight. So a real credit to our team. And Adam gave us his usual strong performance, and just you got to enjoy moments like this when you're a coach.
First question for the student athletes right here.
Justin, talk about your goal and the momentum that the Gophers held throughout the game with it.
The first goal was a good play by Kondo to get it off the wall and get it to the D, and then it was just a scrum in front, and I was able to pick up a loose puck and throw it at the net, and it banked off someone in. And I think we were playing, we got some good momentum right away, right off with our first shift getting in deep, and then we just kept going. I feel like there's no doubt in our mind that we were going to be able to keep the momentum going after we got that one in.
Question right here.
Justin, as a group, the freshmen on this team have made huge contributions. What's allowed you guys to have so much success so early in your careers?
I think you can ask all seven of us. We've been blessed with a group that in front of us with the upperclassmen that are all great leaders. Coach already mentioned today that how well our captains were able to lead us, and I think that we've been able to feed off them all year, and we're just happy that maybe we've been able to step in and help the team win.
Next question for a student athlete right here.
It seems like you guys were able to win the corner battles and in front of that, both on the offense and defensive side. How do you guys do that so well?
I think that they went into 4 periods yesterday with the overtime and had the shorter rest, so we definitely had a little bit of an advantage there. But I think we were all pretty determined, and we still felt like we had to get one back after losing in the same place last week. So I think just a hard week of practice and coming to the rink ready to play helped us make some strong plays.
Next question, right here in the front.
Justin, you talk about the freshmen being, kind of a well-rounded group, but what's it like playing on a group that has so many weapons? Because your scoring is kind of spread out throughout the roster, and how dangerous does that make you guys?
Yeah, it definitely feels good coming into the game knowing that you don't have a ton of pressure on your back. You're expected to play well, but every line can score. Every line can play with the other team's top players. So I think we're lucky to have a well-rounded team that's balanced on all 4 lines, and I think we've all just been able to enjoy it so far, and we're looking forward to a couple weekends from now.
Adam, you looked particularly sharp tonight, but we all know defensive is a team game. Talk about the guys in front of you and how they helped enable you to keep them off the score sheet.
Yeah, the team was unbelievable tonight. From our defense, from our forwards, on rush short, we didn't give them anything. I mean, throughout the whole game, I remember coming in every period and just saying they didn't get much that period, and our guys were selling out, blocking shots. Our D had multiple shots. Proudland took one almost to the facer at the end of the game, and we were up 4 goals. So it just shows the type of team we have. The older guys want it. They made it to the Frozen Four a couple of years ago and didn't turn out the way they want, so they're going to do it right this time, and they're going to give it everything. And our team just played lights out this whole weekend. And the first game, our team played great defensively. I had to clean up my rebounds a little bit, and I thought I did that tonight. And I think overall effort from everyone, just the forwards to the D, just coming back to the house, just made it pretty easy for us.
Adam, as a team, is this weekend the best hockey you guys have played all year, do you think?
Yeah, I think it was. I was saying that after the game was these two complete games, 6 periods of just, giving it to the other team. We didn't give them anything. It just, we didn't give any team a chance to really come and get us tonight. St. Cloud, they're a little bit tired from the game last night, but we really didn't give them anything. We stopped their high-powered forward offense, and they got a great team, and we did a good job of kind of our lines matching up and going hard against them. Every line played good against their top guys, and it was just overall good 2 games, and the 2 games you need to have this time of the year. And give a credit to our team for coming out after last weekend and doing what we did this week, because I thought it was the 2 best games since I've been here in 2 years.
Justin, Coach Lucia has talked all season about avoiding the cute plays, but what about pretty plays on that 3rd goal? How did you and your line mates combine with that?
Yeah, sometimes I think definitely the freshmen get in a little bit of trouble trying to be a little too cute, whether it's a soft play at the blue line or something. But, we're on an odd man rush, and, sometimes when they don't have a strong gap, you're able to make, I guess, prettier plays like that. So, I got to give it to my line mates. All I had to do was tap it in.
Adam, the expectations for this program are so great. What's the mindset like, kind of in just this immediate aftermath right now, where there is some celebration, but also a lot of work left to be done, obviously?
Yeah, definitely. And it's fortunate that we have 2 weeks to go here, so we can kind of take a couple days to enjoy it, and kind of realize our success we had this weekend, and look back and look at all the good things, all the positives, and then once we start practice here, kind of maintain our conditioning, make sure we're doing all the things right in practice, and keeping healthy this week, keeping safe and stuff like that. And once we get into next week and really start focusing on that game week and looking at North Dakota, because those games are unbelievable. Having a game against North Dakota in the big stage like that, I think that's what both teams wanted, and we're really looking forward to it.
Justin, can you talk a little bit about playing North Dakota in the Frozen Four and how much that will mean for the program?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic just as a freshman because of the conference change. There's no guarantee that I was ever going to get a chance to play them in my 4 years. So we're all super excited, and I think it's good, just to keep that rivalry going. That we grow up as kids wanting to play in these games. So I'm sure they'll have it marked and they'll be excited as well. So we just gotta come ready to play.
Any final questions for the student athletes? Thank you. You can head back to the locker room. Questions for head coach Don Lucia, right here in the 2nd row.
Don, if you could talk about Condon's play this weekend. He had 2 goals last night, another 2 assists tonight. How has he stepped it up this weekend for you?
You know what? He's been tremendous all year. For the most part, he's had to play with 2 freshmen. And I think he probably wanted to play more center this year, but just typical fashion, he sacrificed for our team. I sat down with him earlier in the week and just reemphasized the importance of him playing well for us to have success. And when the way Nate played this weekend elevated our team. His leadership elevated our team. His contributions elevated our team. You saw a big block when he laid down. He got rewarded, which is great to see because, maybe Nate's not a guy that, it's Kyle Rao and a few others, but Nate's one of those guys that you can't win without Nate Condons on your team. And he scores big goals. He had a great regional here 2 years ago, and he really stepped up.
Coach, how much credit do you give your group of freshmen for being able to play as well as they have so early in their careers, especially on a big stage like this?
They had to. We knew going in with the departures that we had that we were going to have to bring in a number of them, and they were going to have to play important roles for us, and we put them in those roles right from the get-go in hopes that they would prepare them for this week. We get to the end of the year. We began our year, and with all those freshmen we had a very difficult schedule ahead of us, and you're just hoping, with all these young guys, you can get to the NCAA tournament. But, they grew up in a hurry. They had some older guys that have performed well. You got Adam in net to cover up some early mistakes. And, they've performed for the most part all season long. But, this weekend I think they learned the way you have to play. They talked about sometimes they get a little bit too cute, but that's young guys. And most of our kids come directly out of high school. We don't have a bunch of 20, 21-year-old freshmen. And those guys have done a nice job, but the older guys have done a nice job embracing the roles that they have, because some of them come in and played, pretty elevated in our lineup. And but we're a team. We haven't relied on anybody, one guy. I mean, you look at our top goal scorers are in the teens. We don't have 20-goal guys. We're effective how we've played this weekend. Good goaltending. We don't take a lot of penalties to put ourselves in that situation. And when we get all of our lines contributing like they did this weekend, and our defensemen chipping in a few goals, that's when we're at our best.
Question in the back and then here in the front.
So it was a little bit different type of pace tonight, especially early. It seemed a little more, I don't know if it was cautious or
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that, you get into this stage, and the one thing you learn is that, it's not necessarily going to be a racehorse. It's, you got to play under control and wait for opportunities. And I think sometimes when the guys are sitting in the hotel and watching some of the other games taking place, it's not like they get a chance to watch a lot of college games. And I think they were able to watch some of these games and see the importance of playing a certain way, and we took care of the puck really well for the most part all weekend long. And when we limit our turnovers, which we certainly really did tonight, we don't give the other team a lot. And so the first goal is obviously big. I mean, if you go through this tournament, it seems like every time I've watched a game, whoever scores the first goal is won, and it gives you that momentum. And then that second goal was huge for us to give us that 2-goal cushion, and then all of a sudden the task seems a little bit more difficult from the other side.
Don, so much of the talk that came with realignment was that some of these old rivalries, could fall by the wayside. How cool has it been for you guys, 2 games in a row now, with this much on the line, to kind of see some of these old foes?
Well, I think it's fun, especially for the fans. That I almost had a kind of inkling. Well, once North Dakota won, I guess we have to win now, because you can't go a year without playing. And you know what? Just like we have great respect for, hey, Bob and I work together at the World Juniors. That's the hard part, is you don't take a lot of solace beating a friend. But I'm happy for our guys. They've got a really good program, and same thing with North Dakota. They've got a terrific program. In a lot of ways, their team's a lot like ours. Guys that maybe in some ways they don't have stars. They have a good team, and defensemen that can get up into play and score, and good goaltending. So I haven't seen them a lot, but I don't have to throw on the tape to know how North Dakota plays. Over the years we've played enough. So you know what? It's a great matchup. It's good for college hockey that we're playing in this stage. I think the fans will probably light up the message board a little bit, and whose dad's tougher. I'm sure that so they'll enjoy that part of it. But just looking forward to getting back to Frozen Four with our kids, and obviously looking forward to playing a very good team and well-coached team, and it should be a heck of a game. But you know what? There's 4 really good teams in the Frozen Four this year, and it'll be a lot of fun to go back and see how it all plays out.
Don, you talked about that big second goal. Seth Ambrose gets that big second goal for you. But, he was around the net a lot this weekend and was a little bit snake bit, I thought. But talk about Seth's play this weekend.
You know what? Just the whole line, I thought that was really important. That was the best that line's played in a while. And they had an important matchup with Casilla and Brodzinski. And then they moved Bennick up there after the first period. So 3 really good offensive players. But, all 3 of them are good penalty killers. They play the game the right way. They're heart and soul type players. But it just makes our team so much better when that line plays like they did this weekend. And Seth hadn't scored a goal in a while, and he rang one off the pipe, and I scored the way Seth Ambrose needs to score goals. And I think that was a point of emphasis after last weekend, that we only scored the 1 goal, and we had drills to get to the hard areas of the ice in front of the net, and we scored a lot more goals in that area. But so we talked about this time of the year, it's amazing how pucks go off somebody, or our first goal went off a skate and in, and then I think Seth's hit a hip. It was laying there, and he scored. So, but you got to get to that area, and that's Seth's game, and he's gotten to that area all year long.
Don, how different is this year's team compared to the one that went to the Frozen Four 2 years ago?
Oh, good question. I haven't had a chance to digest that yet. Obviously we're a lot younger. But the excitement never goes away. I think that's a big thing for these guys, that the excitement, the drive to get there, that'll be all new, but it never, like I said, it never gets old. as a coach, you enjoy it just as much every time you go. But for the players, I think the reward of all the things you go through, and we talked about for this group, from the disappointment of losing last year to, putting themselves back in this position and all the work that goes with it, so. Comparing from a couple years ago, I mean, similar team, balanced. We didn't have any of those 20-some goal scorers like we had with that group. So this team has to win with balance, with a different person stepping up. We can't rely on any one guy.
We have three. We're going to go here and then back there and then here and there, and we'll be done. Start right here.
Coach, what makes your defense so tough to play against?
Well, I think their mobility is one. I think they have pretty good stick skills. But I think that's the big thing, is that their skating ability. Obviously, Coach Gensel does a terrific job with the core. And, we made some difficult decisions who plays, when 7 are healthy. And we got Michael back in there for his ability to, make some plays at the offensive line that helped last night. But they were really efficient for the most part, getting the puck out of our own end and getting to retrievals and getting up the rink as quickly. And I think that's a real key for this group.
Don, you have some guys playing in the NHL that could be on your team this year. You could probably find a spot for them in the lineup, but would it be a better team if the Bukesteds and the Hullas and the Schmitz were still
anytime
around?
you have some NHLers in your lineup, you're probably going to be better. But you know what? The reality is that, we knew Nick was going to be leaving. I mean, to his credit, he just finished his last class and going to graduate. And, we knew Eric was going to leave. I mean, I think those two especially, we knew that they wouldn't be back. The other guys, Budish graduated. He was a 4-year guy. We knew he wouldn't be back either. Nate and Mark, made a difficult decision. You always respect their decision, when you get them through their junior year. But, that class, as much as anything, were the real catalyst to the last 3 years. They did a terrific job. And you got the seniors that are still here, did a great job leading the way this year. So, you know what? We were thankful that they were a part of our program and what they did the previous few years when they were here. But, this team is not about the NHLers. This team is about a bunch of guys that are really good college players, and that's, what we're trying to do with this group.
Coach, you talk about the importance of the first goal, and you guys are unbeaten when you do so. What changes either mentally or in the style of play?
Well, I think, when you got Adam in net, it makes the hill a little bit taller. But the confidence thing, especially at this time of the year, scoring the first goal is huge. And, we've given up a number of first goals and still been able to come back and win games. But, the goal scoring comes down for the most part now, and you just don't want to give away any. And we did a great job both games this weekend. We're asserting ourselves and getting up to 4-0 leads both nights now. We understand that's not going to happen next time, but you enjoy it as a coach when it does, because with our team, it's not like we're a really high-scoring team. And for the most part, when we get to 3, that has to be enough.
Final question right there.
Yeah, Don, over here. Adam didn't get tested all that much tonight, but the body of work from the start of the season to now has obviously been sensational. As you're breaking in all these freshmen, how gratifying and comforting was it to have a guy like that you could count on as all these kids were trying to learn and then trying to figure out?
Well, I think we all know the importance of that position, and Adam really established himself after his freshman year, and works hard at his game. Obviously, our goalie coach Justin Johnson, who does a terrific job with him and volunteers his time, comes over a couple days a week and is at our games and works with them with video. And you know what? Since Justin's been with our program, our goaltending has been outstanding. And when you had Adam, when the year began, we had some experienced defensemen. Justin Hall, we sacrificed for our team last year, and we were playing a lot of forward, and moved him back, and it was a pretty seamless transition. And so we got a pretty good core in front of him. So it was as much as just the forwards buying in how we have to play and playing as a 5-man unit, but also knowing that, boy, in that moment in the game when it's tied to your head by a goal in the third period, that Adam has the ability to make us a big-time save. And tonight, we got that 2-0 lead, 3-0. The way he looked, I mean, I'm no goalie expert, but sometimes they look locked and loaded, and that's how he looked tonight. I mean, he looked right on, and he was really sharp tonight.
Thank you, Coach. For St. Cloud State this evening, head coach Bob Motzko, student athletes Nick Dowd and Kevin Gravel. We will start with the opening statement from head coach Bob Motzko.
This was not a fun conversation in our locker room when a coach has to go and address a group of guys that he truly believes in and believes we should still be playing, and you still want to be with them, and it comes to an end. It's very difficult. I'm sitting next to two just fabulous captains. What they've given to this program is unbelievable. They've made this program better. They've made our university better by their decisions to stick with us and finish their eligibility. There's a great story in there, and I hope it's told, and I know a lot of it's been told about Dowd, and we're just so proud of these guys, and it was not a good night for us. We ran out of a little steam. You got to tip your hat to the University of Minnesota. They played an excellent game. They shut a lot of things down. We never got a power play. It was a difficult night for us to get anything going. We did in spurts. Had a couple chances early in the game. We missed the net, and you know, we were looking for something to get some life. We got a little bit in the third period, and we took the penalty, and then that was it. And you really do have to tip your hat to Minnesota. They played an outstanding game tonight to advance to the Frozen Four.
Questions for the student athletes? We're going to start here in the front.
Kevin, just talk a little bit about you know, the Gophers offense and what were they able to do effectively against you guys tonight?
You know, they're a high-powered team. You know, they skate really well. You know, they made it difficult on our D-men all night. They got the puck deep and you know, finished their checks on us and then kind of wore us down a little bit. And you know, they have skill, where if they get a chance, you know, they can make a play. And you know, they did that a few times tonight. And you know, you got to give them credit. They came to play tonight and you know, they took it to us there for times. But you know, it's just tough right now. You know, it's forwards are they're a good group and they're tough to handle, and they proved that tonight.
Question here in the second row.
Nick, what makes the Gophers defense so tough to play against?
I don't know. I mean, they did a good job splitting D to D, and I think they delayed our forecheck quite a bit in the beginning. You know, I think we made it pretty easy for them to play and get pucks out, and you know, they're obviously a good skating group, and you know, I think what's tough to handle is that not only do they play great defense, but you know, they're also a threat on offense.
Nick, it looked like you did almost kind of like a little stick salute there at the end of the game at center ice. Can you talk about that, or tell us about that, and you know, just kind of the emotions of this being your last game here?
Yeah,
the NCAA has to change a losing team coming in 10 minutes after a game. It just that has to be changed.
Let's move on to a next question. Any other questions for Kevin? All right. Nick, Kevin, you can head back to the locker room. Thank you. Questions for head coach Bob Motzko.
I told those guys they didn't have to come, and they said we will.
Bob, I mean, you've talked about it before, but I mean, the first goal, I mean, was that just a huge thing again tonight?
Yeah, it was. You know, the game was. You know, you want to rehash the game. It was. They had a little bit more jump. We didn't. We were trying to establish a forecheck. We have an offense's own faceoff. We win the faceoff. Actually, one of the very few faceoffs we won early in the game, and both our D looked at each other and didn't go get the puck. They pop out on a 3-on-2, and there's a mistake, and they score. The second goal is, once again, our D, we were getting a little desperate. Our D pinched down for one of the only times in the game. They get an odd man rush. It's in. Their second power play, they one shot on goal, rebound. I mean, they capitalized on like 2 two mistakes we make, they capitalized on both of them, and that's how dangerous it was. And we killed one penalty off, and I think they scored on the second one, and that's 3-0. And the rest of it, we were trying to get back in the game. We were trying to get some life going, and we did in spurts. It just didn't fall our way. The big thing with Farragher too, Farragher was awful sick 2 days ago. We didn't get out. He was in the hospital getting a couple bags of fluid, and he gutted it out yesterday, and that's why we got him out of there tonight. And I mean, he gave us everything he had this weekend, and little spark, I did want to answer that. And he was an awful sick kid on Thursday.
Next question. Right there.
Coach, obviously, very disappointing right now, but 2 league titles in a row for your program. Talk about sort of the state of the program and where you think it's headed.
Well, it's all, we think we're heading in the right direction. We've been in three region finals in a row, 3 in the last 5 years. 2 conference championships. It's hard to feel like you're bragging about something right now when you lose, or to boast about your program, but we're very, very proud of what we have going. And I think and I hope it comes out right here. The thing that we're most proud of is, in a time when a lot of programs are losing players, the last couple of years we've had some kids stick around that had every opportunity to leave. We've lost a couple too, but we've been there's a belief in our program. There's a belief in each other and what's happening, and we know that can change in a heartbeat, but we've been building, and we've been going in the right direction, and we fall short this year on a team that we wish we were still playing to have one more shot in 2 weeks.
Question right here.
Coach, what made it difficult to get much going on offense tonight?
Minnesota speed. They split their D in their zone. They would go D to D. We had a hard time getting a forecheck going. They're very talented. Where they connected, dozens of passes on the breakout, and everyone that plays them knows that's their game. And we were just a little flat-footed. We started to come in spurts, and then their speed getting up, like a lot of our shots were on the perimeter. We had a hard time, getting that second wave in deep into the zone, and I thought they beat us in a lot of physical battles down along the wall, and we were a tad wore down, and